Ho ho!
Tomorrow, Real Madrid faces what is always a tough visit, the Vallecas Stadium, against a rival who's been performing quite well this season, Rayo Vallecano. What kind of game does Real Madrid need to play to take all 3 points?
Good afternoon. Yes, it's a demanding visit we have ahead at Vallecas, given Rayo's current form. They're in a good moment. And also because in recent years, our games there have always been tough. Last year's ended in a draw with a lot happening in that match. So tomorrow we're ready for a game with a lot of intensity, a lot of rhythm, and one that will demand a lot from us.
There are psychological moments in games, and perhaps even psychological matches. This one comes right before an international break. After what happened at Anfield, do you understand why there's been talk of doubts about this Real Madrid? Given you only had 2 shots on target and Courtois had to save the team.
Every match is the most important one. We approach it with that mentality and preparation. Since the Champions League game, our focus has been on the next one, Vallecas. As we said before, it'll be a demanding one. And in LaLiga, we want to keep up the rhythm we've had and finish well before the break.
Arnold got a few minutes against Liverpool. How is he doing? I imagine you won't tell me if he'll start tomorrow, but is he ready to play in a tough place like Vallecas?
Yes, he's ready. He's been training for a couple of weeks now and doing well. And you're right. You'll find out tomorrow.
Last season it happened several times. I don't know if this stat concerns you. The other day, the team ran 4 kilometers less than Liverpool, and I believe you were the 3rd team in the Champions League that ran the least. Does that worry you?
It has to be put in context. We've had all kinds of matches, and those numbers have to be viewed in light of how each game went. You can't make definitive judgments based on just one match.
I wanted to ask you about Fede Valverde. He's been playing on the right flank for quite some time now, even as a fullback, though at the beginning you said you saw him as a midfielder. Have these recent matches on the right changed that idea for you? Do you now see him more as a winger or still ideally as a midfielder in your plans?
Well, due to the circumstances, he's played there and he's done really well. We all know Fede's versatility, his ability, and also his attitude. He's always willing to help the team, and that makes him an option for both the short and medium term, no doubt.
Don't you get the impression, and it's hard to criticize a team that's top of La Liga, that the team either plays very well, like against Barcelona, or very poorly, like at the Metropolitano or Anfield? There seems to be no middle ground. The team either shows great attitude or seems to drift out of the match.
No, we want to be consistent in our performances, to be well prepared for every match. Of course, not every game feels the same. That's football. But in terms of attitude before each match, I never have any complaints about that.
The other day at Anfield, you said the game was decided by small details. I wanted to ask if, 4 days later, you still think that was the case.
The Liverpool match has been analyzed and discussed. Now it's all about Vallecas. Since Thursday, we've been training and preparing for Vallecas, and that's where our focus is.
You've played 15 matches so far this season, finishing what you like to call the 3rd block of fixtures. At this point in the season, are you where you wanted to be, above or below expectations?
No, I didn't set out to say we have to be exactly here. It's more about our development. I think we are progressing well. We know where we stand in La Liga, we know where we are in the Champions League, and what's coming next. But what matters now is tomorrow. As your colleague said, we want to finish this stretch with good feelings, with a solid win in a tough stadium, and that's very important.
The other day, Rodrygo came on playing on the right side, which allowed him more continuity and minutes. Is there a chance he could start there?
Yes, it's a possibility. Rodrygo can play on both wings. In fact, he's done so a lot, even through the middle. So yes, that's definitely an option for us.
About the opponent, Rayo. They're in a bit of a complicated situation with their coach. I don't know if you've heard anything about that, or the issue between the coach and one of his players? Beyond that, how do you analyze the match and the opponent? Games at Vallecas are always tricky for Madrid.
They're a very good team with a great coach who's been doing excellent work since last season. The club gave him continuity this year, even while playing in Europe, and he really knows how he wants his team to play. They make it tough for any side visiting Vallecas. Tomorrow we'll need a lot of composure, maturity, connection, and intensity, knowing there won't be any easy moments.
I wanted to ask you more about Inigo. You had somewhat parallel careers for different reasons. Specifically, how do you see his evolution? And do you consider him one of the rising young Spanish coaches, like yourself?
When I watch his teams, I see his clear identity. He worked as Andoni's assistant, and when Andoni went to Bournemouth, where he's doing a great job, Inigo took over with a lot of personality and authority. His team plays very well, they're very clear in what they do, and that's why they're doing so well. I really like his personality and the way he communicates with his players.
I wanted to ask you about a recent comment from Bale. He said, coaching Leverkusen is not the same as coaching Real Madrid. You have to manage more egos than make tactical changes. After 5 or 6 months here, have you found a dressing room full of egos?
No, it's a dressing room full of great players with strong personalities, starting a new project with a lot of enthusiasm. I'm very happy with them. We're making progress, step by step, and that's what gives me energy.